guys, and welcome to Firefall Live. It's another Friday, and as always, I'm Phobos, joined by ThaCheez and FadedPez.
Hello.
Hello. We've got a great show for you today. Tony and Frank go on a little road trip. Aaron Canaday from the World Building team is here with us, and we'll be showing off a little bit of the new stuff in the patch. And we're going to be taking live questions from you guys on live.red5studios.com. That's our TeamSpeak server, so go ahead and connect to that now. We'll get you into the channel to talk to us a little bit later. But first, I just want to go over some Red 5 news, talk about what's happening at the company.
Oh, we're doing stuff?
Yeah, we are. We're working hard, actually.
Yeah.
So it may seem like it's all fun and games, but we actually do quite a bit of work. Been a lot of late nights recently, getting that milestone ready, because we are, for those of you that didn't watch last week, we are releasing the milestone patch on March 22nd, which is the same day as PAX East.
That's next week.
That is next week. That's next Friday.
Soon.
So
we gotta get to work.
We will have downtime on March 21st on Thursday. So for those of you guys expecting that, we'll be down for a while. Don't know how long yet, because they're still doing some testing on the databases. We were down. Speaking of downtime, we were down yesterday, which is totally unrelated to the milestone patch, but it's horrible timing because you've got the entire dev team and operations team planning for the milestone, and then production goes down, and so then it causes a kerfuffle and things.
A kerfuffle?
It was a kerfuffle.
Okay, move on.
We're not even going to joke on it. We're just going to move.
You don't even know what a kerfuffle is?
I've never heard of a kerfuffle.
You've never heard? Oh, wow.
I've heard of a calamity.
Tony. Wow, Tony.
And
it wasn't so much a calamity. It was more of a kerfuffle.
You need to read more books, okay?
Kerfluffle.
Oh, it's a kerfuffle.
It's a kerfuffle.
I didn't know what to do.
So we have the patch coming up March 22nd, Thursday. It'll basically come up Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on how long the patch time takes. So really cool stuff on that. We've announced kind of how the new battle frame system will work, but I wanted to go into a little bit more details because I've gotten confirmation on certain things.
Oh, here comes some bombs.
Great, now no matter what I say, it's gonna be, that was horrible, why'd they do that? Boom. Those guys have no idea what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Frank.
This is going to be awesome.
No, so we talked before about how battle frames are no longer in a tier system. They're individual battle frames. So we'll have 15 battle frames to launch, 5 Accord, 5 Omnidyne, 5 Astrek battle frames. And those will be unlocked separately, and then you can actually level them up individually through progression tree and things like that. So there was questions about, well, what happens to garage slots in that situation? So in order to simplify the system, we've decided for battle frames to remove the idea of garage slots. So you no longer purchase a garage slot and then purchase a battle frame to fit into that garage slot. What happens now is when you get a battle frame, you automatically get a garage slot that goes with that battle frame. So if you have the battle frames unlocked, you automatically have that battle frame available to you.
That's really
awesome.
Which
means that you also have the PvP version of that battle frame available to you, and the PvE version of the battle frame available to you.
That's great.
There's no need for garage slots.
You don't have to delete stuff.
You don't have to delete your. We wanted to simplify the system a lot more.
I like it.
Yeah, so what happens to the people? And I see the questions. What happens to the people that have already bought garage slots? Well, so all of you guys will be credited with the red beans that you've already spent on garage slots. You'll be getting all those back.
Oh, payday!
So don't worry about that. You'll get all those things back, and it won't worry about it.
Making good on our promises.
Yes.
Right.
So
pretty sweet.
That's coming up. That's pretty huge because that means that you have all those things. There are a few people out there with some edge cases about like war paints, so they have custom 2 battle frames and 2 separate garage slots with both with premium war paints. Yeah. That's kind of a unique situation where we'll have our support guys contact you. We did some research and only about 20 people had that kind of situation set up. There is a write-in question that I'm just going to answer now.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's related to the same thing. It's like what happens to... you have 2 loadouts, multiple loadouts, so people might have like their PvP version of their Tiger Claw and their PvE version of Tiger Claw. Well, because we're already doing PvP set frames and we're doing PvE set frames, we remove the idea of loadouts for now. Okay. But we want to bring that back later. It was just right now with the new system, all the changes and everything, we really wanted to go simple. Keep it simple to start with, and then add that complexity later. And so we'll add in loadouts, and we're working on how to get that so that in the open world you can have multiple types of loadouts, quick loadouts that you can swap between, and how that'll work. So we're talking about that for now, but for March 22nd patch, you'll have a single PvE loadout, and then you'll have the set PvP loadout automatically when you have a battle frame. No need to buy a garage slot or anything else like that. But battle frames, so this is the big bomb, is that battle frames are purchasable by an in-game currency that you'll get. Not crystite, but it's like a token system.
Yep.
I forget exactly. I think they're calling them tokens.
I think right now they're called tokens.
Or via crystite, or excuse me, via red beans directly. So that's the new purchasing system. So instead of buying battle frame garage with red beans, you have the potential to buy a battle frame and a garage slot for red beans.
Now the people that already have their tier 2s unlocked, they remain unlocked.
They get those. And that was what we said last week, is that if you already unlocked a Tiger Claw, for instance, you automatically get that Tiger Claw. There's no need to go out and buy that again. And then as you earn the tokens, you'll be able to use those tokens to buy additional battle frames that we'll do. And we want to release battle frames.
So you can either earn it or just pay for it.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a little bonus that the longtime testers get then, because then basically you're there accumulating tokens.
Most of these guys should already have almost everything unlocked that we've seen from the game. People, at least the people that are still playing right now.
Yeah.
And that's why last week I said, get in there and start unlocking those battle frames, right? You'll get access to them immediately. So there's no big deal there. But then when we release new battle frames, those will become available immediately. That if you're like, I need that battle frame now because that's awesome, you can buy it for red beans, or you can earn the tokens in order to get it.
Yep.
So
fair enough.
That's what's happening with garage slots and those changes. So that's coming along with all the crafting changes, all the progression changes, all the new content, all the crazy stuff that's happening with that. A lot of this stuff we'll be talking about at our PAX East press conference, which is happening on Friday, next Friday, so a week from today. That's going to be in room 105.
105.
So it's on the first floor. It's on the west side of the conference.
West side.
Okay, that was not where we wanted to go with that. That was,
just.
So for those of you that would like to join us for the press conference, first come, first serve. We'll have press in there, but we want to kind of pack the room with the rest of the room with community. And so we'll have a varying number of seats depending on how many press show up. We've invited a whole bunch, so it kind of depends. But please line up and let us know. We'll be there. All the community team will be there, and we'll be doing the press conference there. After the press conference, and that'll be streamed live as well for those of you online.
What?
So we'll be streaming that live from the
on this channel.
On this channel.
Yeah.
After the press conference, immediately following the press conference, we'll be doing a Firefall Live at the end, and we'll have our community audience.
Yep.
So we'll be recapping what happened at the press conference, doing Q&A, all that kind of stuff.
Tony's going to dance.
Tony might dance.
I most likely will dance.
Yes. I think it'll be great.
Especially throughout the weekend. It'll just be a weekend of dancing.
So Ryden's asking when can he line up at that show. The press conference is actually at 1 p.m. We'll be there earlier, so feel free to stop by earlier. There's other things going on. Obviously, we didn't want to conflict with the opening ceremonies or the keynote speeches, so we scheduled it for 1 p.m., which is right around the time that everything else kind of kicks off and gets started. So it'll be starting at 1 p.m. Feel free to line up earlier than that. Again, first come, first serve, so the earlier you are, the more chance you get in. So we're going to be doing all that. After our community, our Firefall Live set, we'll then be going to a community meetup.
Yeah, right? The community meetup.
Tony scheduled that. Where's that at, Tony?
We're good to go. We're good to go. We just have to.
Where?
Oh, like where are we at in the planning process? It was like, oh, we're locked in, man. I used your credit card. It is at the Empire Lounge and Bar. It's 0.5 miles away. I'll have like a map.
Away from what?
What?
0.5 miles away from
away
what?
from the convention center, so we can all walk there. It won't be a big deal. We're going to be there from 5 until 8 o'clock. We have the room from 5 to 8. Like I said, there is a dress code for the outside of the lounge and bar, but in the room, we're our own entity, and just show up how you are.
Pants
Don't worry
free.
about pants free, not so much.
Okay, there's a minimum dress code for just a Red 5 event, which means clothes. Please wear clothes.
Please wear clothes. Just don't feel that you have to come dressed up at all. But the thing is that as soon as we're done, it's not like we can leave the room and hang out in the bar. We would have to leave and go to a different bar because they're a little fancy.
A little snooty?
Yeah, they were like, well, business casual is like the bare minimum.
It'll be fun no matter what. We'll be having a good time.
No Hungry Hippo, they don't have to be your clothes.
So be sure to join us for that community meetup.
Appetizers and drinks.
So that's PAX East. And before, we also talked about PAX Australia. We're going to go to PAX Australia. Originally, I was thinking it would be me and Frank going to PAX Australia. Tony has mentioned multiple times that he would love to go to Australia.
I mean,
unfortunately, I don't have the budget
ruining
for
my life,
everybody
Tony.
to go.
You're ruining my life.
No, I didn't bring.
Hang on, guys. We can solve this. I have a solution to solve this problem.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I would like to have a Jeopardy challenge on the Firefall Live after we return from PAX. So on the 29th, I believe that is. We're going to have a live Firefall challenge, or Firefall Jeopardy challenge here on Firefall Live with Tony and Frank, the winner of which will come with me to Australia to visit PAX Australia.
You should just let me go automatically.
Now, the community is the one that's going to be providing the categories and the questions.
Oh, God.
So, community...
Wait a minute.
What?
Community, help me out.
No. Should they be able to? Are they doing it? Are they sending it directly to you?
Yes.
I know
good.
about comedy, football.
This is
You don't
not
know about
something.
comedy. You haven't even seen
This
Trading
is
Places.
not something you should be posting on the forums because these guys can read it. Okay. So
Yes.
what I want you to do is I want you to send me your suggested categories and your suggested questions to Phobos at red5studios.com.
Shinder wants in too.
I really don't have the budget to fly somebody from Europe to Australia with a 10-second lag bonus. Nice. So send your questions and categories to Phobos at red5studios.com. I'll pick the best ones and make up some of my own, and we'll do a nice live Jeopardy challenge on March 29th to determine who will be coming with us to PAX Australia.
You and your sweat rag are going down.
Dude.
But
you and your sweat
Team
rag.
Sweat Rag, let's
Going
do
down.
this.
You're
Let's
going
do this.
down.
Help me out.
No.
If these are a bunch of game questions, I'm going to be so screwed.
Do it.
There are different categories. We might have one that's about PC gaming.
Yeah.
We might have one about Panera Bread.
Yeah, but have one on Panera Bread. I can tell you every ingredient of every salad, sandwich, and soup.
God.
Anyways, speaking of trips, Tony and
Trips.
Frank decided to take a trip out to Alpha Mega, who was one of the winners of the video contest, in order to deliver his prize. And they decided to film that, and we've got that film for you right now.
You can't just scream at a driver. I'm driving very fast on a road. I keep wanting to reach for my stick like I'm...
Your what? No stick reaching in the van.
Come on, Frank.
No
It's
stick.
not what you said when the cameras were off.
Hey.
Oh! Oh!
Whoa! I think you broke something.
I mean, who has speed bumps in the middle of a road like that? I've never seen that before. This town sucks.
Wow.
They're horses.
Horses?
Horses, dude. Oh, those aren't horses. Those are cows.
No, those are horses.
No, dude, that's a cow, bro. These are tall cows.
See that? See the number on the wall right there?
Oh, yeah, right there. All right, we're gonna go get him.
Yeah.
Frank,
What?
you ass. You were recording that whole thing. The whole reveal of him being surprised, not recorded. Oh. Well, Morgan, Alpha, Mega, congratulations. You have won the Radeon card, the swag bag with the Radeon card.
The goodies.
Yes, the Bronodon plushie and the Razer headset.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Stepping up your gaming now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rub it all over your stuff. That's right. Now, seriously, let's go get some lunch.
All right. I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
Hungry too.
Frank, it's recording.
Congratulations, Alpha Mega. I'm sorry you had to visit with these two fools, but I hope you enjoy your prizes. Great trip, guys. Frank, what's happening in the community now?
Well, I'm pretty sure the community knows how to work a camera better than me.
Probably. They know how to hit the record button.
It's red.
Hey, that was like alien technology to me. Tony's like, okay, grab the camera, hit record. I'm like, what?
And instead of saying, I don't know what to do, he's like, got
the
it.
best part, we're walking up. I have to get this out.
Actually.
We're walking up to the house, and I'm like, hey, are you sure it's recording? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, here, let me see it. No, I'm fine, let's go. And I'm like, all right, fine. I was like, you got it, you're the man.
Everything that guy just said is a lie.
Whatever. Oh, God.
So, community news. We got Formula CY happening at the end of the month. That's Bronadon.com's running that. They're going to be using the Rain add-on from...
Which Lemon King just released a trailer of the Rain.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
you YouTube it for Rain, R-E-I-G-N.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
You released it last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going on. It's happening at the end of the month. You don't have to be a founder to sign up. You can sign up on the forums, beta general discussion. We'll put a link in the in the blog afterwards. Sorry.
Forgot what we were going to do afterwards?
It's like, whoa. Yeah. Anyway, so we also have Smash and Bash is happening tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
Smash and Bash by 8-Bit Tavern. Scanhammer and Ability only PvP. TDM. So that's happening tomorrow. Be sure to check it out on, I think they're streaming on 8-Bit's channel. So Twitch TV/8-Bit Tavern. Nero and Sambasi are going to be shoutcasting that. We also have Brought It On Brawl, which we announced last week. Signups are starting on the 22nd, and this is going to happen in April. So get your teams together, get ready to sign up on the 22nd. See broughtitOn.com/brawl for all the details. And last but not least, I believe Party Size is still doing his engineer contest.
Engineer contest.
Engineer video contest, where he's basically looking for engineer videos, and then he's personally rating them, and then picking winners, and then basically the winner gets a Steam game that out of his pocket.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Cool stuff happening in the community. Again, if you guys have anything that you're doing that you would like us to mention or think is cool, please send it to community@red5studios.com or post it on forums, and we'll be sure to mention it. I think that's it for community news. That's it for Red 5 news. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Aaron Canaday from the World Building team. Be right back after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Firefall Live. We are now joined on set by Aaron Canaday, one of our world builders. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Great, real good.
So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you get started in gaming and started in the industry?
So originally I worked in graphic design and worked at various newspapers and stuff like that. And then I had a friend who was like, hey, you know what, you talk so much about video games, why don't you try to work in them? And he was a guy that used to work in the industry. And so actually a lot of guys know him. His name is Brian Mark Hahn, and he was in Eugene. So a lot of the guys from Red 5 actually worked together when they were at Dynamics and stuff. Some of the old Tribes crew.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was one of the guys that helped get me into the industry. I went to school, and then I did an internship at High Moon Studios, and then I got a job at BioWare Austin, and I was a environment artist, world builder there, and worked on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Did you go to school for art?
I did. I went to school for game art design at an art school at the Art Institute. So yeah.
And so, would you recommend that kind of training for somebody, or?
So when I went to that art school, it was still really Wild West. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like there were very many programs where you could learn art. It's kind of like you have to decide on what pillar of development you're in.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you design? Are you programming or engineering, or are you art? If you're going to be design, those comes from all sorts of schools of education, like, it can be anything, like linguists, it could be, economics, it could be all sorts of stuff, right? Programming, you can go to almost any computer science degree, and as long as you're working on mods and stuff like that, or some of your own projects. And art's a little more tricky. There are some like 4-year colleges now that are more well-known, that are starting to have programs, but you're still kind of having to go to the more expensive art schools. So I don't know if I would totally recommend doing that now, but there are some expensive programs out there, but others that are more state schooled that you can get cheaper tuition.
Yeah. Well, so what does a world builder do? What is your kind of day-to-day?
So there's a couple of there's kind of a weird dividing line. There's environment art and there's world building. There's also prop art, prop building.
Okay.
So usually when you get started, people tend to work on props and make the actual pieces, like tables and chairs and weapons, and they build that stuff in 3D Studio Max. Then there's typically a combination of either building those things and putting them together in the world. And so you can think of something like a job like a set design, where you put together, just like how this set's built.
This isn't a set. This is in our office. I don't know what you're talking about. It's totally
Right.
Red Fuzz Studios
so it's like you
office.
plan out this table, you plan out the carpet and all this stuff, and then you put it all together. You do the lighting. That's basically what a world builder does. Is they put it all together to try and evoke some kind of mood that fits the story and the gameplay.
How closely do you work with the designers when trying to build out like a play space?
Really closely.
Yeah.
So that's the plan anyway. Sometimes you have to fly solo a little bit, and usually that doesn't prove to have great results, because as artists, our primary goal is to make things look good.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you go. Some world builders have more of a design focus, and some have more of an art focus. It's kind of hard to ride that line in the middle sometimes, but usually if we are on board with a designer early on, it's really good, because they can help steer you in, hey, I know this decision would make something look good visually, but it actually is counterintuitive to how we want it to flow. So maybe we can come up with a compromise.
Do you typically, when you're starting out in a new area, do you typically like draw it out? Do you wait for a concept, or do you? And maybe let's talk about perfect world versus reality.
Yeah. Okay. So reality is you don't have any concept time. You don't have any. You have very little designer support, and you're supposed to build this area, right? Or maybe you have a very basic block out, and that's what you have to go with. If that's the case, then you're kind of on your own. You have to sketch out some ideas, maybe come up. And when you're sketching out ideas, you're generally just old school D&D style on grid paper.
Yeah.
Like sketching out a layout that you think would be interesting, that works within the confines of what the designers told you. And then maybe you're sketching out a reveal, like, hey, I want this to look this way when the player comes in, or when the player turns a corner.
And those vistas are really
this
important.
Vista, and so you kind of organizing stuff like mountain ranges and where tree lines would be, and if it's an interior, doing big hero pieces where those are going to be, and lighting.
And so, what would you say is your perfect world? What would you like?
The perfect
besides
world.
18 months to build one little area.
The perfect world is the designer very early knows what they want, which sometimes you end up working in tandem.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. But that's really tricky to manage. But usually, if it's a perfect situation, a designer will know what they want really early. They spell it out on paper. They maybe work on a white box to kind of get started. And then they hand it off to an environment artist or world builder and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. What can you do with this? Then the world builder kind of goes, hey, that sounds great. I think we can do this and this to make it look really cool. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. Everyone's on board. Then you take it to the concept artist and say, hey, here's what the designer and I were thinking about this zone or this region. What do you think? Like, what could we do to make this look really amazing? Here's the limitations on what we have to have.
Right.
Here's the limitation. Here's the freedom you have of, basically, you can go crazy except for this and this and this.
How close do you, when you do have a concept, how close do you try to follow it versus
it depends on how much prop support you get.
Yeah.
So like, sometimes you just want to say, hey, concept artist, go crazy. Do whatever you want and we'll do our best to match it, which is usually the best approach.
Yeah.
Because those concept artists are crazy good. It's just like this on the screen right here, It's like let's say the concept artist concepts this, but we don't have these big giant claws coming out of the sky. Those have to be built, right? Or we have to figure out, maybe we'll just grab those off of a Rana. It's like
scale them up,
scale
really
them up 1,000%. No one wants to do that. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of the limitations. Is the reality is most of the time you don't have a lot of prop support. Like it's not, you have one or two things you could maybe build, have time to build, but the rest you have to figure out how to make it work with the library you have.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are you working on right now? What are you working for this milestone?
The Battle Lab.
And I think, so before we get into it,
Lab?
I think we have some video of that so we can kick that on while we talk about it. But what is the Battle Lab?
So the Battle Lab is our first entry into the game, into Firefall, and it is the first part of the tutorial that the players are going to go through.
So this is our new user experience.
This is the new user
Sweet.
experience, yeah. So what's cool about that is it's a very guided experience where the player can feel really safe and at ease, like not be thrown into the open world right away.
Getting some good comments there. Ooh, pretty sexy. It looks awesome. Yeah, that's
You
good.
did the lighting on that too, right?
Yeah, so there was a few of us. I can't take all the credit.
Sure you can.
They're not
You love
here.
the design too. They're not here.
So a lot of the halls and the hall pieces were done by Barrow and all that, and then I did the big open room, which is like the main part of the Battle Lab, and the training room.
So let's talk about from start to finish. What is a player supposed to learn inside this Battle Lab as of right now?
Okay, so the best way to think about what we're trying to do with the tutorial, the approach with the tutorial, is it's basically divided up into three parts. You have basic movement, and that part's covered in the halls leading up to the Battle Lab.
So things like WASD to move,
Yep.
how to crouch, how to sprint.
Yep. And how to shoot a gun, and that kind of stuff. Then you don't even have the ability to jetpack. You're just jumping. You have civilian gear, which is
tell
really
them that.
cool.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
This is the only time you get it for right now, anyway. So you start off in your
Sorry,
civilian.
WASD, not WASD. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you start off in your civilian gear, and then you get to go through, meet some people that are
Introduction to Arrow.
to Arrow. That's right, and
so she's not just some weird lady talking
yeah.
to you as you fly in.
yeah, and she kind of helps guide you through this and gives you pointers on what to do. And then you get your jetpack in this jump room, and then you have to learn how to use your jetpack. And then once you learn how to use your jetpack, she deems you ready to try out the Accord battle frames.
So that's really cool. And unfortunately, we didn't get video of that because the build was kind of unstable yesterday. But
Right.
really cool, like holographic images of the battle frames, and you pick which one you want to test
and
out.
so that moment with that grand reveal where you kind of come in and you see the big crazy battle lab room
Yeah.
down on the platform, you'll be able to see different the battle frames there in hologram, and you go up, you get to choose one, and then a unique special activity will spawn in for you for each ability for that battle frame that you can learn how to do inside of the
so
training
you can
room.
spend as much time as you want trying out
You
all
can,
five battle frames.
you can hang out there as long as you want, try out all the battle frames, try out every single ability. It's going to be really cool. After you are done with that, you get to play around in that sandbox as long as you'd like, learning every ability. You get to go down the halls and be introduced to the new you, to customize your character, the garage to pick your first battle frame, and then, you're off.
And then you hop on the ship, and then that flies.
You're off
over
and you're
to-
flying into Copa. Now, it's important to note, though, this is only the first part of the tutorial.
Okay.
So it still doesn't address things like thumpers, crafting, any of that kind of stuff. So we're leaving that to more of the open world stuff and maybe a different tuned tutorial, and that's something we can talk about later.
Yeah. And so what's the ultimate goal for this battle lab? Because it seems really awesome for the introduction, but there's a lot more we can do
There's a
with
lot
it.
more use intended for this. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun. What's going to happen is, and girls.
No, just the guys.
Just the guys who have fun.
The plan is to be able to make this a good future content system where you can go in, test out new things like new guns, new battle frames, things like that.
Right. So I mean, part of our monetization strategy is selling the battle frames, and so we might reveal a new battle frame for the month, and then you could go in and try it out.
We don't have this online working yet, but this is the future plans for the battle lab. Is
coming soon.
Yeah, coming soonish. Is being able.
It's not even soon. It's ish.
Yeah.
Soonish. Yeah.
Is being able to come in here and not only just do the challenges for the battle frames, learning their abilities, but maybe even more advanced challenges that will help train you for PvP or train you to do really cool stuff that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
So I saw a comment that on chat that I wanted to address where someone was like, "Oh crap, I have to create a new character to experience this." What's the rollout plan for that? Like into beta, like.
So the current plan is that every single player, when this comes online, will have a chance to roll through it.
Okay, sweet.
They won't be able to come back to it yet because we still need to build that content, the return content for it, like I was saying. But the plan is that everyone can be able to experience it. Don't freak out. You're going to be in your civilian clothes, right, when you run through it.
You haven't lost all your
You haven't
equipment.
lost all your crap.
It's still there.
So, but yeah.
That'll be awesome. So everybody will be able to walk through it and give us feedback and let us know what they think of it. And hopefully it'll be a good user, because somebody else mentioned like we've gone from no user experience to something pretty cool. So
and
hopefully,
I mean, the team, like the Battle Lab team, really pulled out all the stops and made this such an awesome experience. And we literally like revised the white box for this dozens of times before we settled on something that was good, and it should be really solid. I think people will really enjoy playing through it. It's a good, well-designed space.
Awesome. How big was the team that worked on the Battle Lab?
About, I think, like 10 to 12 people. It was, I mean, we definitely got a lot of support, We were definitely, everyone in the studio knows, like, the tutorial was something we really wanted.
Well, it's first experience with the game is really important.
And it was a glaring omission for a long time. So we got tons of great support. Everyone was like, take all the time you need, make it awesome, So it was a really great team to be on. I lucked out big time.
That's great. Well, thank you, Aaron, for coming on the show. Thanks for showing us some really cool new stuff.
Yeah, no problem.
Hopefully you guys will be able to see it here in just a little under a week. So
cool.
Be pretty awesome. Well, thank you again. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking calls from you guys. Be sure to join us on live.red5studios.com. It's our TeamSpeak server. We'll be taking your questions. See you in a minute.
Welcome to the third ever Rock on Roll, brought to you by Ronadon.com and sponsored by Red 5 Studios. This monster two-weekend event is back for a third round of Rontastic rock-slinging PvP action. Sign-ups begin March 22nd. Players will be seeded into double elimination brackets where 16 teams will compete in 5v5 team deathmatch tournaments. The winning team will be flown to Red 5 Studios, sunny Orange County. Third and fourth place winners take away $125 in red beans. Second place winners take away $250 in red beans. And first place will take away $500 in red beans. So many beans. All finalists will also receive a Red 5 Super Swag Pack, featuring your very own Bronodon plushie. So soft and deadly. And yes, kid seats start at just 10 wrist high. April 13th and 20th. Let the battles begin.
Fall, so the weather is shifting and it is time to wear a beanie. Keep your head warm. Flu season is coming. We don't want you to get a cold.
You're talking about seasons. I'm thinking about this is going to be my first winter without my wife, and you know, thinking about the seasons passing. Christmas time all alone as a bachelor.
We'll get you a hat to keep your head warm as well. I know you're worried about keeping your head warm.
For richer, for poorer, huh? Deborah? Wherever you are? If you've seen my wife, please call the number at the bottom of the screen.
Disregard that. Call the number.
Last seen with a Turkish MMA fighter. So.
Hey guys, welcome back to Firefall Live. Now's the time for you guys to get all your questions out. We kind of released a few new pieces of information early in the show. I know you guys have a lot of questions. So feel free to ask those questions on live.red5studios.com. That's our TeamSpeak server. Be sure to join up. There should be information at the bottom of the screen. If there's not, please put that up there, and so I can do this and it makes sense. Otherwise, I'm just pointing at my crotch.
That's kind of weird.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Anyways, we do have some people in the channel already, so who we got first, Frank?
Let's kick it off with WFX. And my program crashed. Hang on.
Awesome.
This iPad has been giving me trouble ever since Tony was able to speak.
That's awesome.
We have WFX.
WFX.
WFX, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Pretty good. My question was about tokens and how we earn them, and if in the future there'd be any boosts to the rate at which we could earn these tokens.
So we'll answer the first question first, which is how do you earn them? And it's earned through progressing your other frames. Mm-hmm. So as you unlock progression tiers in your other frames, you'll earn tokens that you can then spend on new frames. And we're still trying to. I'm not going to announce the pricing on that because I think I don't want to say something if they've changed it. It could change up to the day we release the patch, but it's relatively easy to earn in-game tokens, especially for those of you guys that already earned a ton of experience. You should have plenty of tokens to spend. So for our current users, I don't think you guys have anything to worry about. As for bonuses to the rate, I don't know. There hasn't been any talk of that now.
If you gain it through XP, I mean, XP boosts will
exactly. By spending XP on your frames, you are theoretically earning tokens faster. So yeah, an XP boost would theoretically boost your rate at which you get tokens.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Sure, you got it.
Thank you for calling. Bye.
All right, let's check in with Firemoth.
Firemoth.
Do you want to use my phone?
Yes.
Because you're sitting over there and crashing like every 2 seconds.
Every time I go to move someone.
You know, it's all right.
Hey, Firemoth.
Firemoth.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I just had a quick question about open world PvP.
Sure.
What plans are there to keep high skill players from ganking around on newbies?
There's none. There's no plans at all whatsoever right now.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
Unfortunately, no. We haven't really started working on open world PvP. We've been really focused on the arena-based PvP and getting open world content done.
Noobs beware.
We are still of the opinion that you shouldn't gain power like you would in other MMOs. That there's not an exponential power increase over the course of your development of your battle frames. Mm-hmm. There will be some vertical progression. Obviously, we want people should feel a little bit more powerful, at least from our opinion. But you shouldn't be completely incapable of fighting off a low-level guy. And I think we're still trying to balance those 2 meters, like what is the maximum, what is the minimum. But I wouldn't be too worried about somebody with just dominating, like you might see in a traditional MMO where a level 80 just dominates a level 75 no matter what they do. They miss and you can't hit. Because we're a skill-based game, it's really going to come down to the skill of the player that will determine a lot of that. And then the player with higher abilities and more constraints and things like that will have a slight advantage. And what that advantage is, we're still going to tune over the course of time. But we don't have any plans for open world PvP right now because we're not working on open world PvP.
Right.
We have a lot of ideas, but until we actually start implementing some of those, we're not going to be able to have a good test. So I can't really answer how it's going to affect open world PvP. I can just kind of give you the overview of how we feel about progression. Does that answer
Thanks, guys.
Does that answer your question?
Certainly does.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
People want to nerf Lemon King.
Did it crash on you too?
Yep.
We just be crashing left and right.
It's
We
this,
reckless.
It's this new.
They just
TeamSpeak
updated the application for TeamSpeak. They did a new server which supports a lot of cool stuff. Then they updated their iPad app,
which supports a lot of crashing every time you go to.
and then it crashes.
Move someone. So, I apologize.
We get to report bugs. This is QA time.
This certainly is QA time.
All right.
Speaking of QA time, let's check in with Milestone.
Milestone.
Yeah, I'm here.
What can we do for you?
Great name.
When's the milestone?
March 22nd. That's an easy one. Yeah, March 22nd is we're releasing the milestone.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anyway, that wasn't actually my question.
Oh,
okay, good.
My question is, will there be more and more battle frames constantly being added, even post-beta, or is there a plan to eventually sell on a certain amount?
We want to release as many as we can. I mean, obviously, when we're talking, is there ever a limit? There might be. Like, 150 battle frames might be a little too much, but I don't know.
I don't know.
But we do plan to release more throughout beta and post-beta to constantly release new battle frames with new ideas and new things. And, you know, you'll see when we come out with the milestone that battle frames have changed quite a bit. They have 3 unique abilities that then build up into an ultimate 4th ability that they can use, and they have passive effects. They have different weapons, primary weapons, different secondary weapons. Some of the secondary weapons are shared, obviously, but battle frames are more unique than they were in the past, and so we're going to continue that uniqueness. And as long as we can continue to think of cool new ideas and cool new abilities and things that can happen, I think you'll expect to see more and more battle frames.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Another question?
Sure.
How will the ultimate abilities work specifically? What will the limitations on them be other than just the cooldown?
Yeah, so it's a build-up over time. So you have to be doing damage or healing or some kind of activity in order to build up over time, and then you can unlock that ultimate ability.
I believe even taking damage.
Even taking damage. So there are different.
Some of them.
I think. So it depends on what class you're talking about or which battle frame you're talking about. They have different things that you need to be doing. So depending on what the battle frame is supposed to do, as long as you're doing that thing, then you'll earn up kind of ultimate points, which then maximize, and then you can use it. So it's one of those things that it's not just based on cooldown. You can also lose those over time, so it decreases over time. So if you're not continually pushing forward and doing something, you'll lose your ability to use your ultimate. So it's something, when it's available, you definitely want to use it at the right time, but you also decrease your power over time.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, that sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you. Next question.
Next question. The Conqueror. Nope.
Ooh, that's a good
You're going to just have to reboot it each time. Like, you might as well just shut the app down and then reboot.
Shut it down.
But that's not a guarantee that that's going to help
True.
it.
Just trying to help us.
I know, I understand. Yeah.
I'll answer some questions. Skywalker, Ultimates will be in PvP, yes. Okay,
Yes,
who do we
they
have
will.
on the line?
The Conqueror.
Conqueror, what can we do for you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing well, how are you?
Good, thank you. My question is about the campaign and the quests. They're gonna be back this milestone patch or another one?
We have a lot more open world content coming in this patch.
Yeah.
I don't think we got the storyline quests back in yet. So they're working on that though.
I think they are working on that.
They're working that on
But it's not coming in this milestone that I've seen,
don't know.
and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. But I just know they're working on it like crazy.
I saw Eric and Jeff having a conversation about like where they're at and everything. So,
Yeah, I think this...
'cause we have to port everything over now because we made some changes.
Yeah, we have a whole new encounter system that we talked about a while back that makes it a lot easier for us to build those encounters, but we have to convert all the old ones. And so we brought on...
and also the server multi-threading.
Well, that's why we have to rewrite the encounter system. So we brought on more writers to help us out. We have a narrative designer, Richard Piercy, now, who's helping us out there. We've written a lot of dialogue for the current missions. We've added a ton of missions in the world, but they're not story missions. They're like more dynamic missions that happen in the world. We've done a lot to the Chosen Warfront this milestone. But we are not really working on the story missions this milestone. They're being written, but not implemented yet. So that'll be coming in the next couple milestones, most likely. Sorry, I can't tell you for certainty.
All right, one more thing.
Yeah.
Or the commanders will be able to customize their own bikes.
Ooh. We do. So we've always thought of the, garage slots have always been a global mindset that everything takes a garage slot. Your thumpers would take garage slots, Battleframes takes garage slots, your vehicles would take garage slots. And so that then you could customize your thumpers and your LGVs and stuff like that.
Sounds awesome.
So we definitely want to have customization for LGVs, not just for commanders, but all across the board of like increasing the engine, changing the tires to give you more grip. Maybe you change your thumpers up to have different drill bits, things like that. So we definitely want to add more customization across the board. Commanders in particular changing their chopper bike. I don't know. That's a good question. I think we'll definitely bring that up when we start talking about the LGV customization, just in general. Once people can craft their LGV and customize it, I think that'll come into play.
I think I need a green and yellow LGV racing through Copa.
Sounds awful.
Wow, that does sound awful.
No, dude, come on.
Anyways, thank you very much, Conqueror.
Thank you very much for putting me on the show.
No problem. Who else we got in Crash?
Angelic Devil? Nope. Crashed.
Crash.
Is LGV crafting? You keep going. I'll answer questions from chat here. LGV crafting in this milestone? No, not this milestone. Entire crafting system has been rebuilt. Awesome stuff. We've talked before. Matt Kikuza was on and talked before about the crafting and how you'll have subcomponents that build into components, and then those components build into the actual items. Frank and I were, working as a team with another 10 plus people, all trying to enter in all the crafting recipes over the last week.
Yeah, I made the Dreadnought recipes.
Yeah, there you go. If you have problems with Dreadnought recipes, talk to FadedPez.
Talk to this guy.
So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of cool stuff, but LGV crafting is still, because we had so many things to change, LGV crafting is a new item that we're not working on right now. So who's on?
We have Angelic Devil.
Angelic Devil, how can I help you?
Actually, I do have a question about, hold on. The armies, I'm sorry. Like, basically, are you guys going to be releasing a placeholding for the armies at very least, and maybe the content there shortly then on after, but basically like a list with the name most likely soon? I know the content might not all be there just yet, but like just a way to keep track of members and a way to keep a friendly community gathered or something somewhere.
Absolutely. So we've been working on basic army systems, which is like the roster, ability to promote people, like officer to control invites, the army name, army tag, those kind of things. It's basic army stuff. Just for the social structure, you'll have your private chat channel, all that kind of stuff. But you won't have the army tech tree that we talked about a long time ago yet. That'll be coming after this. But we should have basic. I haven't tested it myself. That's why I'm saying should. But it's been checked in. I know that to have basic army structure in.
I asked Ken about that yesterday. He's like, I don't know if it works, but it's checked in. Like, oh, great.
It's checked in. We'll be testing it over this week to make sure it all works. But yeah, basic army structure are going in with this milestone.
Oh heck yes!
Right?
Oh, awesome. that is like the sweetest thing. This is my first time on the army, basically not here live, but just basically being in here with you. So it's a great honor, and thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Glad you're excited.
Such
about
excitement.
That.
I love that. Oh heck yes!
That's right.
I like that.
Alrighty. Oops, I put him in queue anyway. So I'm going to crash the client.
Oh boy.
Fluffy Death did ask a question about army crafting though. Like, will we have army crafting?
Not yet. So right now it's basic army structure.
Well, I guess you meant like in the
future. The future. Yeah, I mean, army tech trees are going to be all kinds of cool stuff. So I don't want to say yes or no at this point because I'm absolutely certain that I would love to have specific Army crafting terminals and ability to specialize and all kinds of cool stuff. And I know Scott probably thinks the same way.
Yeah.
It's just what can we get in?
I got Smile and Reap with us.
Okay.
See if he unmutes his mic.
Hey, can you hear me?
What's
yeah,
up?
we got
How's it
you.
going?
All right. My question was also about the tokens. I was going to ask, are they going to be a lot harder to earn than the crystite for unlocking battle frames? And will they have other uses besides battle frames? Like, will they be like a type of currency for something else?
They're going to be different the way they earn them than crystite. You're not going to go out and harvest them, but by leveling up your battle frames, you'll automatically get tokens. So the more battle frames you unlock, the more battle frames you can unlock, kind of how that works. So by playing the game, you'll actually get these. They're really not that difficult to get for most players. It's except for Tony. Tony can't has yet to get one because he only has to reach level 1 to get one.
You know.
No, I'm kidding. They're really easy to get. Now, as for whether they're going to be used for different things, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer to. I could absolutely see that we may have, using the same token system, we could have like a global tokens that you get from earning different things, but then they're used to buy multiple things. But right now, they're only set for battle frames for this milestone and for the next couple that I know of.
Sweet.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was all that's in queue. Do we have time for more? Because I could probably pull a few
Actually,
more.
I don't think we do because we've got some other stuff to hit up. So thank you guys for the questions. I'm going to post a thread on the forums about this announcement because I know there's going to be a lot of questions about it. So feel free to ask those questions in there. We'll make sure to get them answered. But it's pretty cool. So patch is coming very quickly. Thank you all for calling in. We'll be doing it again next week, and we'll be having live community questions.
Yep, live community questions.
So if you show up at PAX East, you can ask us live, and then throw stuff at Tony, and that'll be fun.
Yeah,
especially
that's gonna
throwing
be
stuff
fun.
at Tony. I'll be bringing the stuff that you can throw at Tony.
You should not be throwing things at Tony, like at all.
Why not?
Bring rotten tomatoes or something to throw at Tony.
It's totally
But
safe.
for now, let's go ahead and move on to all of our favorite segments, which is. We're really getting into that.
All right, really into it. Dude, it's the final countdown, bro.
It is the
final
final
countdown. That's the final countdown, and this is Do You Even Art, bro. We've got all new art this week. Very excited about it. Our first art piece is going to be brought to you by
That's Chaos Eater.
Chaos Eater.
Yeah.
I almost did it again. I almost did it.
Can't pronounce Chaos Eater.
I almost did it again. We even practiced
Chaos
before.
Eater.
Chaos Eater.
Chaos Eater. Okay. Chaos Eater. This is really cool. This is like a picture of the Chosen. They're like, he posted this up on the forum, the thread, and he got so much great feedback from every single one of these. He was like, screw it, I'm putting it in a 4-thing Chosen poster. I really like each different take on each of the images. I like that. Your guys' thoughts?
I think it's really cool.
Sweet.
It's kind of scary.
It is.
It is a little scary.
But
I had a
the
nightmare
Chosen
about
are
that
scary.
one.
This one?
The bottom left.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
This one scares me more.
Well, bottom left's like more abstract, so it's like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Bottom right scares me the most.
See.
And I get scared, but I get scared over
easy.
everything.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Tall
Moving on
cows.
to the very next, the next art piece. This is actually cool. This is the Copa Light from
Light.
Alpha Mega, the winner that you saw him in the video earlier. He won the video card, the Razer headset, and the Bronodon. And also, he had 2 of these, and the other one that he had is of a ship.
Transhub.
Of Transhub.
It's not a ship, remember? It's a building.
It's a building. It's a ship. Looks like a ship. He printed it out for us.
Yeah.
And so
Frank showed me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He printed it out, so we're going to put it in the office.
We're going to put it up.
Very excited. But this is of Copacabana, obviously. Also, not a ship.
Also not a ship.
Yeah, I like it
Bravo.
because
Genius.
It could be a ship.
it's cool. The different parts of the day, I like it. What do you guys think?
It's pretty sweet.
I like it.
Cool. All right, and our very last, no stranger to the Do You Even Art Bro, competition. Legend 57 is back at it, and this is the Great Collage. This is all of the different...
I was expecting you to mispronounce collage.
This is the Great Collage.
Oh.
That sound.
Collage.
Weird. That's weird.
I kept thinking Great Legend every time I read it because it's like the Great and then it cuts off and I'm like the Great. Oh,
it's not the Great Legend.
Yeah,
this is not the Great Legend.
This is I like this. This is my favorite piece of his. It's colorful. It's bright. I could even see this as like a game. Maybe if he converted this into like a, you know, the game like the of all the guys where you knock them down.
Who is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a game from the '90s. What is it called?
The one with Samuel L. Jackson. Does he even look like a bitch? What? You never seen that meme? You've seen it.
Yeah.
No. It's got the picture of the cover.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson playing on one side, and then this kid on the other side, and it's like, does he look like a bitch?
Oh yeah. Why you try to like a bitch? Marcellus Wallace.
Guess who?
Guess who?
Guess
Thank
who?
you.
Thank you.
Ripcord for the win. Oh no, plenty of other people got
Yeah.
it before Ripcord.
Way to
Ripcord,
rip
I
it,
take
Ripcord.
away that credit. You lose.
Does he look like a bitch? I
yeah,
love that.
I like this a lot, actually. So my vote for this week is going to be for Legend 57. I like the different colors. I like how creative each one of these people are. They all look like different characters. Frank, your vote.
In the spirit of St. Patty's Day, I'm going to go with Legend 57.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
It totally makes sense.
What does St. Patty's Day have to deal with Legend 57?
He has more green than the other ones.
That might be racist.
No, I honestly like Legend 57. For some reason, this guy's hat reminded me of a leprechaun, so I immediately thought of St. Patty's Day. Don't know. Congrats.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter what criteria I guess you use, as long as you pick one.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Right.
open to his own criteria. It's Frank's
Weirdo.
vote.
Hey, I really enjoyed it. I like it.
I was going to pick Legend 57 as
You were
well,
going to pick
'cause-
Legend 57.
Oh, so my
as well.
vote doesn't count anymore.
Hey, guys, so again, if you're playing that Firefall live drinking game, we were unanimous. Legend 57, you are our weekly winner. Congratulations. I mean, he submitted probably 50 art submissions, so you're bound to hit one of them. This one, it was it. It's really cool. Great job. So Legend 57, you'll be moving on to the monthly competition at the very end of the month, and you'll be going up for that signed Firefall poster. Pretty cool. And if you have artwork, we definitely need more. So if you have artwork, send it to community@red5studios.com, and it can be anything. How dare you? I don't make faces like that when you're speaking.
Yes, you do.
I do. I absolutely do. So please send in your artwork. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be drawn or 3D image. It could be whatever you want. So
Dances. I want to see some dances.
We have not seen any dances yet.
We haven't seen.
We've even seen synchronized swimming. We have not seen dancing.
Someone submit a dance video, Firefall.
Give him an example of what a
Red
dance would look like, Tony.
I mean, you know, like, I don't know, you could be like, I am Red 5 robot. I'm going to shut down now.
Yes, please. That was
And
terrible.
on that
And
note,
now we
we're
need
going
the
to go
sweat
ahead
rag.
and take our leave. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, next week we will be at PAX East doing a live show straight from the floor of our press conference, and then a live Firefall Live after that. So be sure to join us. It'll be a nice 2-hour special. Like a Christmas special, but without, weird hugging.
And crazy lights. Well, there'll probably be crazy lights.
There'll probably be crazy
whatever.
lights. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you again. That's it. That's all we got. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.